Okay. Good day, everybody. Good day. Welcome to another episode of Voices of Web3. My name is
Welcome
Ian, and
back.
then with me today we have Liam again. Say hi.
Hey, what up? What up? How's it going, everyone? Welcome back again. How's our internet today?
Right. Apparently, according to some people, our internet was fine the first time.
Oh, really? It was fine yesterday?
So, okay. I think today's topic, everybody might be interested in it. You guys might have encountered it on the news or on YouTube or talk about this. Right.
I mean,
Am
CZ
I
and
off again?
Binance. I mean, it's everywhere. I can hear you fine. Can you hear me?
What's going on? Hello?
I mean, I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
Hello, Liam? Anyways, yeah,
Yeah, I can hear you, man. I mean, do you guys hear Ian? I don't think I hear Ian though. Oh, we got a new speaker here. How's it going, buddy? I also see Mocha in the chat. Mocha, you want to jump on board? Am I the one that's losing the internet here? Can anyone hear us though? I mean, if you guys can hear us, just give us like a thumbs up, or just let us know you guys can hear me fine. Okay, I guess it's Ian. That's his internet is a little bit off. Yeah, I just want to hop on here today just to quickly catch up with you guys, and see what you guys thoughts on the whole CZ and Binance, things, and then yeah, if you guys are interested, just hop on the mic and then we can just
Are you talking? Hello, Liam, are you here? Mic check, 1 2 1.
Yeah. It's good. It's good.
Okay, how far did you
Glad
guys
you're back.
hear? How much did you guys hear? I did a short intro, and then after that, I don't know where I got cut off.
Bro, I mean, your internet was pretty bad earlier. I mean, like, I guess we didn't hear anything. So I mean, I guess we
Okay,
can just just
I'll start from the top then. I'll
stuff
start
from
from the
the
top.
beginning.
Okay, so first of all, I'd like to welcome everybody to joining us on our Voice of Web3 another episode. This is our fifth episode. My name is Ian, and then today
Yeah.
we have Liam from X Winner again. And
Hey, what up? What up, guys? It's your good old boy Liam.
today, as you can see from my thumbnail, it's something that has been heating up our social media for quite a bit now. The thing has been going on for about a day, right? I mean, the whole story
Yeah,
has
there
been
was.
going on for a good part of the year, right? And then
Yep.
the hammer finally struck down at the court of Washington in Seattle. and then now everybody's talking about it. Of course, we're talking about CZ and Binance today, and
Yeah.
we're really starting to see the movement from the regulators trying to, you know, counteract the movement that we have going on in the Web3 space. And I saw this coming. What about you?
Yeah, we're not gonna lie. I mean, it's, it's I kind of see that. I mean, like to me, I feel like doesn't really matter, how big of the a platform that is, whether it's Web 2 or Web 3. When you get to a point that it's big enough and they touch somebody's spy. I mean, especially down the U.S. Our good old neighbor, and then somebody is gonna eventually come up, be like, hey man, that's not right. You gotta do this and that. So I mean, it's kind of a pattern, to me, right? I don't know what you think.
It's definitely a pattern for sure. Whenever there's a new disruptive technology or there's no innovation to change the narrative or trying to make a change to what has been already established, we definitely do see these agencies, right, who are very, very deeply
Yeah,
invested in how the things has been going, right? They do want to
yeah,
bring back the reign, and they want to retain control, right? I think
yeah. I
we're
mean,
seeing some of that.
which yeah, I mean, definitely, like we had a TikTok, right? I mean, which was also quite disruptive, especially down in the US, right? And then and we we went through that, right? And then Facebook, even before that, right? And also, the past 6 years, right? We've seen, Binance, grown from nothing to a top exchange in the industry, right? So, I would say, the pace of the of growth that Binance had was, I was impressive. I don't know about you, but also kind of ostentatious in a way, right? It's quite showy, right? And definitely brought its shares of complexity, complexity, right? And as CZ's influence within Binance and also the Web3 market grow, so did the challenges, right? So I kind of see this as a pattern, just like what I said, like especially down the states, which is quite a familiar scenario, just like what you said, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised at all. It's just like you say, it's just been in news for how long? Like I'll say almost a year now.
Yeah, this lawsuit has been going on for quite some time. So I guess to give a quick rundown of what has happened for those who might not be informed, is
Yeah.
that Binance and its CEO, what is known as CZ, are currently facing a significant legal challenge, and they have been sued by the U.S. Security and Exchange Commission, the SEC, the Commodity Future Trading Commission, CFTC, and then also Department of Justice is getting involved. And then the settlement, I think I saw, came to about 4.3 billion US dollars.
Yep.
And I believe some people have already tracked down that transaction. Some of them already able to find that there's a transaction amounting to so close to $4 billion being
Yeah,
sent to
3.9,
somewhere.
3.9 to
Right,
be back from the cold wallet to an active wallet. Yeah.
right, right.
Big amount.
So, right, right. So I think the main reason why the lawsuit was being filed against Binance and CZ, the CEO, is that they were running an unregulated international exchange. So basically saying that Binance was not playing with the US regulations and you get US laws, right? And then commingling with investor funds with their own, violating some security laws, right? So
Yeah.
a lot of stuff, a lot of
A lot.
stuff, right? And
Yeah.
then but there's like, in my opinion, like like there's two sides of the story. Like it is true. Like if you look at a lot of the exchanges out there right now in the crypto space and the Web3 space, it's hard to
Mhm.
say that they're really abiding by the U.S. regulations. And U.S. regulation is not the only regulation out there. Right? You got
Yeah.
the EU regulation. We got the so,
Yeah.
but yeah, they're gonna look at like other exchanges out there. It's hard to say that they abide by all the regulations out there. But and then some of them regulations kind of counteracts the whole premise of decentralized exchange. Like we are a lot of people
Mhm.
they prefer to trade in decentralized or and Liam, we talked about outside the podcast we talked about everything comes at a cost, right?
Yeah. Hello. I think we lost Ian again. Yeah, good to have you back.
I don't know where I got cut off. I was just like mumbling by myself, I guess. Where was I at?
No, we're talking about it's a lot of most of the industry not really abide by the regulations because there's just so many out there, right? It kind of goes to show.
Yeah, that is one thing.
Yeah, I mean it's
right. That is one thing.
It's the whole
And
it's the
then
whole
like if you want to follow by all the regulations set by these governments or entities arbitrarily, then why are you trading in decentralized Web3 space in the first place? Like, why are you buying commodities or why are you trading values using blockchain in the first place, right? A lot of people use these exchanges because they don't want the government to be involved. They want to have the flexibility and the freedom to do whatever they want with their funds. I think that's one of the big principle of the entire space that we're trying to dive into.
Yeah, I mean it's a market that's it's uncharted market, right? I mean, like we've never had this before, and then I guess it's just the beauty part about the whole decentralized exchange, right? And then if one certain platform has to obey by all the regulations set by different continents, then what's the point? How's that different than the traditional
Yeah, I
finance
mean, even even
platforms?
even the traditional sense, different exchanges are restricted to different regions, so they just have to follow
Yeah,
the regulations in that region, right?
yeah,
But
and now you're telling me by this this regulation and that regulation is like what's going on
yeah,
here?
exactly. Especially we see all these exchanges on crypto space. They want to cover as many grounds as possible. They want to make it into like a global enterprise, right? Like everybody
Yeah,
anywhere can get involved in any transaction with cryptocurrency, right? But if you start enforcing certain regions regulations onto the platform, then you gotta take into all the other regulations into consideration. At the end of the day, it's gonna be so heavily regulated, even more regulated than for example, like the New York Stock Exchange or Toronto Exchange. Like it's gonna be even more regulated. Then there's no point, right? A lot of people choose to they choose to get into crypto because they want to avoid government interference, and
yeah,
that's one thing. So I think you and I, we talked about this briefly before the podcast about it's a fine balance between freedom and flexibility as opposed to security
yeah,
and privacy, right? You can't have both at the
yeah.
same time, right?
Yeah, you cannot trade off, right? So it's virtually a trade off, right? Like if you do want the efficiency and the freedom of trading on the decentralized platform, that is something that you just gotta you gotta sacrifice for that, right?
Right.
So
I guess to
I
summarize, like what happened, what with CZ and Binance, at the end of the day, they decided to settle with the $4.3 billion in settlement. But
hmm
the Binance, they still are able to operate in US, so it's gonna be business as usual, except CZ is gonna be out of the picture.
yeah, I think that it's well, I hate to say that, but I guess it's a wise move, I would say, and a strategic move. I don't know about you though.
I mean, a strategic move from Binance or a strategic move from the US
Yeah,
government? From Binance?
Yeah, Binance and CZ, right?
Oh, I mean, I do agree. The one thing that worries me a little bit though is like a part of the settlement is that basically Binance is gonna have like adult supervision, quote unquote adult supervision of all their operation for the next 3 years. They're gonna be closely monitored, right? What that means for me is that the US regulator or any kind of regulators now they have a foot in the door in Binance system, right? And then they can probably see what's going on, and then they can probably make advice on whether they're following the regulations or not. So we're gonna. I'm
Right.
expecting Binance to go more towards trying to make sure that they're following all the regulations and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, just to echo your thoughts, right? I mean, like I would say, his quote unquote retirement, at this juncture, it's a wise move because just by reducing his direct involvement, he potentially adds value to Binance future, also preparing for the platform to kind of navigate the complexity ahead, right? Also by appointing the new CEO, Richard Ten, I think.
Yeah.
It's also quite strategic as well because given the
Or not. I think we're back, right?
oh my god, the space just don't want to make us
All right.
easy. Jesus.
All right. Okay. Thank God. I hear your voice now. That's fine. I was like crawling into my phone trying to see if I could get back or not. But yeah, I managed to get back.
Yeah,
I
I don't know
think
where I left off. Yeah, I
I
would
think we're
say
talking about CZ's retirement. He still has a good chunk of influence over Binance. I mean, he's still the majority shareholder for Binance, and that's that they're not taking that away from him. There is stuff
yeah,
about him possibly being detained or going to jail for about up to I think 18 months.
18 months. Well, but the sentencing got delayed for 6 months, right? So we don't
Yeah,
know
and
about
he
that.
still has
Like,
some time, but I don't think. I would say that it would be very unwise for him to like try to influence or do anything with Binance, especially there's a lot of eyes watching over him and every
mm,
move. It's gonna
yeah,
be like that for a long time.
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, finger crossed.
yeah. I mean, for me, like the reason why we want to have this conversation today, like CZ and Binance, that's one thing, right? And we already saw a few big crypto projects going down, like FTX is one of them, right? Very happened very, very recently. right? And then
Yeah.
from these kind of stuff, like what I'm trying to get at is that um crypto is a big target now. Like
Yeah, I
a
mean, I
lot of
guess crypto has
regulators.
generated enough traffic.
Sorry.
Yeah, I think crypto has generated enough traffic and then volume in terms of also the profits, that to a point that the traditional finance, or even the from the government point of view, that it's the pie is getting too big to kind of like neglect, right?
Yeah,
So yeah, that's what I think, right?
I do agree. There's a as I was just scrolling through Twitter, and then I saw some posts about, I would say, probably close to conspiracy theory. Some of the people are saying that these are all planned, like part of the show, right? So we got the BlackRock's Bitcoin spot ETF getting approved. We're assuming that it's gonna be approved fairly soon. It's very high likely that it's gonna be approved very soon, right? And then we
Yeah.
see FTX, we see Binance, they're all being chopped down into pieces. So when the traditional big money players come in, the competitions are all broken down, and they can just manipulate I mean, I won't say manipulate. We still don't know that, but like they can basically flex their muscle without any competition or without any obstacle when they just come in straight up. And then what I'm afraid is that if that is true, then we're just going back to the old, big institutions manipulating or influencing the market however they want, and then the retail investors or the retail users are left behind the dust.
Yeah, I mean, which is very likely, right? I mean, because you do see, the big boys like, BlackRock, or those, traditional finance platforms gonna, whip their, sword around, right? So which is understandable, but that can also be a signal of a bullish market, right? Like with amount of cash injection that go into the Web3 space, right? So
Right.
it kind of depends on from what angle that we're gonna look at this kind of issue, right? I mean, the 100%, like, your thoughts definitely emphasize on the whole decentralization part, right? I mean, that's the beauty about this whole industry, right? Now, having a big boy like BlackRock coming to the picture, and then with all those Wall Street players coming to the show, that it kind of defeats the purpose, right? But from a lot of daily traders, or user point of view, like having big boys like them come into the picture, and then bring that amount of $1 trillion into the industry, that will definitely see a pretty decent long run of bullish market, right? So it's just kind of like, from kind of what aspects are we gonna targeting, right? So that's kind of my perspective.
Yeah, I mean that's also a good point. It depends on what you want out of the crypto market. I mean, if introduction of old school money into crypto space means a lot of liquid inject like the cash injection into the industry, and then that propels more projects, more VCs, more innovations, faster turnovers, right? Then it
Hmm.
might be a good thing, right? It might be a good thing. But what I'm also concerned is that when you have the traditional players coming in with traditional agency, and I still would like to think that they're probably not a big fan of whole lot of decentralization. They probably want to retain their influence and power over the economy and the market as they do currently, and I'm pretty sure they enjoy that a lot. Right now, they're coming to
Right.
this brand new space where a lot of people are basically pioneering this new idea of like, hey, my money, my rule, right? I have the flexibility to do whatever I want, right? And then as a community, as a more democratic, taking a more democratic approach, right? We can determine whether one direction is better or the other. But when you have big money coming in, then, we might have the equal vote, but their vote somehow is heavier.
Yeah, so that's definitely something that we gotta take into consideration, right? Yeah, for sure. I mean, the point is very valid. It's just hopefully that's not gonna be a case, but if it's kind of like we're in this kind of already moving train, right? And then it's we're going to that direction, and then the things are heading to that way. It's just it's kind of sucks, and if by the end it's some unfortunate events happening, and it's we are going to the direction that it's gonna be truly unfortunate, right? So
let's look at what kind of impact that let's talk about what kind of impact that this event, like the CZ and Binance and the regulatory getting involved in the business, like into the crypto space has on the has for us, I guess. First of all, I want to talk about cryptocurrency market stability, and this is probably for the short term, right? When a big player like Binance, they take a hit like that, and they're covered with scandal, right? Like even before this, the whole crypto had a negative perception around it. A lot of the retail investors in the Web2 space who are not involved in Web3, they usually have a very negative perception towards crypto, right? And
right.
they don't have access to information from people like us who are trying to voice their opinion about how crypto and blockchain is trying to change the game, right? They're just their access to information is traditional media, and if the traditional media is blasting bad news about cryptocurrency, how it's unregulated, it's not safe, it's not secure, right? There's a lot of money laundering going on. Then a lot of people are gonna add like these news are gonna add on to the negative perception towards cryptocurrency and blockchain.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. I mean, that kind of goes to show, how hard. It kind of goes to show how hard it is also for CZ and Binance, to kind of like navigate in this crypto space, right? Because as a true pioneer, right? Because you know, we are actually doing something that has never been done before, right? So although there are a lot of people they call themselves a pioneer, right? But to me that CZ and Binance are literally like walking in the dark, right? So there are a lot of unregulated stuff or money laundering thing like that happening, right? But that's kind of like I would say that's kind of the consequence that kind of goes along the way as the innovation unfolds, right? Like we have this kind of technology, and it's up to people to put it to kind of what kind of use that they wanted to do, right?
Right,
And then
right,
and I don't
right.
think that the idea behind CZ's creation or the Binance is that we want to build a platform that's just dedicated to money laundering. Obviously no, it's money laundering, it's just part of the fruition, right, that comes along with this platform, right? So
Right. I mean, different technology allows different activities, right? Like proliferation of different activities, and blockchain, like decentralized approach, does enable smart way of money laundering in a way that is hard to track in the traditional way, and a lot of malicious agents can use that and exploit that to dodge the law and regulations. However, like as you know, Binance or a lot of people who are in the Web3 space, their mission is not to facilitate that. These bad
yeah.
actors are everywhere, and when technology shows up, new kind of technology shows up, like bad actors will show up. And as a community, I believe that we also have to have a say, and put some effort together to push away these bad actors, right? We need to self-regulate. If we don't self-regulate, somebody's gonna step in and regulate for us.
Yeah, but the other thing you can also consider is, self-governance is it's a scarcity these days, right? I mean, I definitely echo with your ideas that like if a platform like Binance is out there that already provides the convenience for us, and then it's revolutionary the industry, and then so I mean the least we can do is self-regulate and then and self-govern, right? But there are always gonna be people out there that their intention is to do malicious stuff, right? So if that happens, there's it's it's kind of like sad to say that there's nothing really we can do about it, right?
Hopefully, yeah. I mean, we got a few speakers today, I guess, who have accepted their role as speaker. If you want to speak out, this is a free discussion. You can jump in whenever you want and say your piece, and then hopefully we can have like a interesting discussion in this regard. And then to get this started, I guess I do want to ask you, Liam, like, do you think personally, right? Do you think like Binance is involved in these shady stuff? Like they actively engaged or helped some agents to launder money, or they have active role in trying to manipulate or deceive their users or clients with the funds? Like, do you think that was happening at all? Like, do you think CZ was in that?
Man, you gotta put me on the spot, right? um, well, quote unquote from CJ, and he's like, oh well, at least the resolution is done today, and then there's they never mention about there's no accusation against misusing people's fund, and there's no manipulation of the of funds at all within Binance. Well, you know it's hard to say, but like one thing I do know, and I do notice that definitely there are some practice being taken, like within the platform, that they kind of like trying to keep some of the big whales, or big wallet holders, kind of like give them kind of like a white privilege to to allow their transactions or their practice going within the platform, which is from a business point of view, I do understand that, but in terms of whether or not there's any misconduct, or like misusing users fund, it's hard to say. It's hard to say.
I mean, it is hard to say for sure. Like, I mean, this might be a bad analogy, but let's say, Liam, you're a car manufacturer, and then you sell a car. Somebody's buy a car,
Yeah.
and then he decides to like run over some people, right? Is it the
Yeah.
car manufacturer's fault, or is it the problem of the driver?
Yeah, exactly, right. Exactly. I mean, that's kind of like, well, I provide you with the tool, right? But like, I mean, the whole responsibility I have is just provide you with the tool. But like, how what you want to do with the tool, it's completely up
Yeah,
to
yeah.
you,
And
right?
then
So
in the first place, you're not
that
supposed to run people over with the car. You're supposed to get one from point A to point B.
Yeah, so if going with that route, I guess it's not the Binance fault. It's whoever that's using or driving the car, right? Or it's in this case it's me. It's my fault, right?
I mean, yes, yes, but one can argue. I mean, if you put it in the context of this analogy, that is pretty stupid. But one can argue that, hey, man, you made this weapon, right? That enables somebody to like harm someone else. So you should take some of that blame. I think that's crazy,
Hey, that
right?
that
And
what
then
that
the
should
whole
go together.
movement, like, what? Because car can harm and kill people, we should ban all cars, or like we should put heavier regulations on how cars are made and how they're programmed, so that every car that is made makes sure that it detects like all the identification for the user to make sure they have like good track record, like all blah blah blah, the crazy stuff. I think that's crazy. And then maybe people are just extra skeptical with blockchain and cryptocurrency because it's foreign. Like, they don't know that much, right? They think it's something dangerous because, for all I know, like the traditional news media, when they cover blockchain and cryptocurrency, especially recently, it's all about scams, money laundering, people doing stuff they're not supposed to do. So yeah, there's that narrative to
I
that.
mean, it's just the byproducts from this industry, right? I mean, like, I mean, once again, like I said earlier, I mean, I would never think that the intention of this industry, this whole Web3 or decentralization movement, is dedicated towards the people's misconduct or malicious stuff. I mean that was never the whole intention of that, right? But it could be the byproducts of this industry, or like in this case, Binance, right? But I do not agree that people we are moving, we're slowly transitioning from Web 2 to Web 3 for the pure purpose of you know encouraging this malicious stuff happening, right? So I don't think that's the
Yeah, I'm
case.
pretty sure no project is going out there advertising its user to do bad stuff, unregulated stuff. Like, they obviously have ambitious goals, right? They want to solve some problems that other methods were not able to solve efficiently or productively. So they're using this new technology to solve some of that issues, and that is very novel, right? And that is cool. But innovation comes at a cost, right? And I think we agree on that.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, and
Right.
then I think next thing that I do want to talk about is like these series of events, like whole Binance getting into this scandal does set a precedent, right? Now like the biggest exchange has been brought down by the regulators because they have been doing some shady or illegal stuff, right? Now, I believe that a lot of the investors who are already in the Web3 space, they might second guess themselves when they're trying to engage in any kind of crypto related transactions, right? Even the biggest one, they're also unregulated and they can be potentially dangerous. So it has impact on investor confidence, right? The upcoming legal challenges and then the potential step down of a high profile figure like CZ, right? It does
Yeah.
play a role in like people's like when it comes to their attitude towards the market, right?
100%. 100%.
Yeah. And then one thing that I'm also concerned about is that, you know, if you know anything about how like laws work in US, the precedent is a very important thing, right? Any future cases that pop up, they're gonna refer back to this case. And then they will judge the sentencing or the verdict based on how the precedent was settled. So we already have a precedent. So in the future, like, I mean, if you ask me, the 4 billion in settlement fine, that's crazy. That's
Right.
absolutely
That's what
insane.
I think the highest for the corporate, right?
I'm not sure if it's the highest, but I saw another
I know it's is it seventh? I think I read the
it's
stats.
it's
I
up
think it's
there.
the
It's up
seventh
there.
high.
It's up there.
Yeah, it's up there. Like
Yeah.
one of the largest.
Yeah. So I
You know,
saw I
bank.
saw I saw a number. So this is a small size, like a small relatively small bank in the traditional sense, a traditional bank, right? They were also
Yeah,
caught for purposely laundering some drug cartels money back in 2004, I think, or 2007, somewhere
yeah,
in between there, right? They laundered about
yeah,
380 billion US dollars
yeah,
through that traditional finance system, right? And they
yeah.
got caught, and then they got sued and they got apprehended, right? Their settlement was 160 million.
Wow,
Their
that's
punishment
significant.
was 160 million.
Yeah, I mean, at this day and age, at this market right now, like $4 or $5 billion, that's like whole year of finance probably profit.
I mean, it's probably going to be. I think it's more than Binance's yearly profit because the last time I checked, Binance's
I know
revenue is close to about
in 20,
15 bill.
I, I know in 2021, Binance
Or
pocket about
2021 was
20
a lot
billion.
higher. Yeah, 2020 was a lot higher.
Yeah, I
2022,
mean,
not so much yet.
1/5 of 2021's whole profit,
Yeah.
right? So, but like 2021's the market is all different than today.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
what I was trying to say, like with that number, is that I think it's crazy. I think the crypto space is getting like a very unfair punishment, in my opinion. And then I think the regulators are trying to send a message. I think they're
yeah, it's
trying
trying to set.
to they're trying to assert dominance, right? Because it's something that it's very difficult to get dominance in this industry, right? Because everything is supposed to be decentralized and stuff like that, and they want a foothold. And
Yeah,
one way to do it is to, find somebody who's doing little shady stuff, not regulated stuff, catch that guy, punish the hell out of him, make him an example, and show everybody who's boss.
yeah, definitely. Just it's all about who's the boss, in that dreamland, right? I mean, and then obviously CJ, that's unfortunately it's a target, and then well, what can we say? Like Binance, it is quite ostentatious, right? I mean, it is
They are a little bit, yeah.
game, and then yeah, I mean, it's not that hard to find some of the the stuff that they do, and then just make it as an example, and then
I mean,
just
yeah, dude,
yeah, because we are slowly going into the Web3 and the crypto space, right?
okay,
Now
okay.
the
If you
pie is
if you
getting.
think if you think realistically, right, at the scale that Binance operates with amount of clients it has, amount of transaction it has, amount of region
Yeah,
like it serves, right? Do you think there's not gonna be
yeah.
one transaction this little shady? Like this is like
No,
this
yeah,
this this
yeah.
this standard has should be applied to traditional banking system. Like, do you
Yeah,
think all banking
yeah,
systems are transparent? All exchanges are fair,
yeah,
honest, and they're
yeah,
perfectly good? That's bullcrap.
yeah. Yeah, that's bullcrap. I mean, the writing on the wall, it's more than clear, right? It's just who is the boss, right? I mean, again, I mean today, the Secretary of Justice, the Secretary of Treasury, excuse me, the Secretary of Treasury saying that, well, like we're not prohibiting, crypto activities or
That's good.
going on,
Yeah,
on the states, right?
yeah,
But it's just like everything has to obey by the law, right? So it's just it's again, it just once again, it's just they're
yeah,
trying to emphasize the word, who's the boss, right?
yeah.
Like I guess that message has been conveyed loud and clear today. I
Right.
mean, yesterday, right? So,
I would
but
like to say is that, like we lost the battle. We lost our general, CZ, right? We lost our general.
yeah,
But I think in the
yeah,
long run, the war itself, we're probably gonna win because
yeah,
as cryptocurrency becomes more and more widely adopted, right? More and more people start buying into the idea of cryptocurrency and blockchain. It's gonna be more and more decentralized, and therefore it's gonna be harder and harder for these single entity to take control, right?
yeah.
So we lost the
So
battle,
that's why.
but we gotta chalk it up. We're looking at a long-term war.
Yeah, that's why people who are in the space, like you and I, and also all the listeners here today, right? Like we just have to, form this, united front, right? And then well, like one person's, strength and ability is limited, right? But like if we can somehow find a way and join the united front, and then yeah, maybe a few years down the line, and then we are able to kind of like together collectively just take down the quote unquote monopoly in the traditional sense, right? And then yeah, I mean, I hope that that's the future that we're heading. But
Right.
well, what can I say? We lost the battle yesterday, but but
Hopefully,
who knows
hopefully,
where the
hopefully
future.
we have a few more generals coming up to the stage and lead us to the charge. But
Well, there are a lot of bright minds in this
yeah,
industry, right? So he definitely is the one. He is the face of
yeah,
of and then the whole
yeah.
decentralization, right? But
But the whole issue of
maybe
compliance and regulation is something that even Web3 we cannot avoid. Like this, we have to get this thing figured out for sure, right? We can't
mm,
always be like, hey, we're just startup, we're just starting up new technology, fancy innovation stuff. Don't touch us. Like this is gonna run out real quick. Eventually, we have to suit up. We gotta be mature about it. We gotta face the
mm,
reality. It is what it is, and we start need to make it start considering compliance, making some you know adjustments to how we think and how we want to grow this industry, right? And
yeah,
in regards to compliance, like there's probably many directions to it, and probably different ventures or different projects have different ideas for how much of a
mm,
compliance they're willing to accept, right?
yeah,
And then I think
yeah,
this hopefully this smoothly takes us into a topic of gambling in the Web3 space, which we are working on at Xwinner.
yeah. Exactly.
Compliance
Compliance
is a
is
big
definitely
issue.
a thing. Yeah, it's a big thing in our space, right? So
Yeah.
definitely,
I
like
mean,
as I was watching. Like I was watching the live, going on yesterday. And I was like, oh, like if we wanna become, if we want to become long lived in this industry, compliance and regulation definitely something that we have to, obey, right? And then which I'm pretty happy that we are actually doing a pretty damn good job, when it comes to this regard, right? So I'm pretty happy with that.
yeah. I mean, we are definitely trying our best to make sure that all our stuff are regulated
Yeah,
or under regulations. We go through a lot of different measures to make sure that we're audited properly and stuff like that. But
yeah.
like the
Otherwise,
compliance issue is has been a thing for gambling industry forever, and
oh,
this
yeah,
is
forever.
something that the traditional market still hasn't figured out. I mean, we have regulated gambling, right? In places like Canada,
Yeah.
right? We do have regulated gambling, but their regulation is definitely different from, for example, Europe and US. US is even worse because it's state by state.
Oh,
Some of them is
yeah,
legal, some of them illegal,
yeah,
and where it is legal, depending on the state,
mm,
right? The regulation
yeah,
is different. So the casino has to adapt to
yeah,
different regulations. They gotta change the game, they gotta modify their operation, right?
yeah,
And
yeah,
looking at Xwinner, we're trying to have a global appeal, right? Although we're mainly
yeah,
targeting Southeast Asia, we still want to have a global
yeah,
appeal. But if we're trying to abide by every single regulation out there, it's gonna be impossible. We're not gonna make any game that's playable and interesting for anybody.
Yeah, exactly. I mean that's gonna be like, well, our interface has to be so different, depending on the target, from different part of the world, right? I mean, like, and then also like the amount of resources that we have to dedicate it to, to working on the compliance, also obtaining the required license just to operate our platform. It's gonna be off the roof, right? So that's why we're kind of like, right now it's kind of like stay away a little bit from US, just it's too much going on down the states. As much as I love Vegas, as much as love Los Angeles down there, but it's just, man, I mean, we just gotta stay away from US for a little bit right now, and also China as well, right? But yeah, I mean it's definitely, but no, yeah, I mean, one thing that we have to make sure to do is, like, we have to at least try our best to acquire, as much, to equip ourselves as much as we can, right? So that's why, we have a dedicated, law firm company that we partner with, right? And then to make sure that our compliance stay on top, and also that we have a team of lawyers that just stand by there and just make sure that in case there's any legal activities going on, or paperwork that need to be done, that we have the best of the best out there that who can help us to kind of like to go through this trials and tribulations, right? So yeah.
I mean, that is true. That is just as a legitimate gambling platform that's just doing diligence, right? But when I spoke to a few people who also do like online casinos or
Yeah.
Web3 casinos, and from what I heard, like they said you can have like few different approaches, right? Let's say you design a set of games and it abides by certain regulations in certain regions, then you only service your
Hmm.
platform in that region. Or if you want
Yeah.
to go a little bit more broader and you want to cover more regions on your platform, what you would do is like you would region lock certain content. For example, let's
Yeah.
say a place like Philippines allows for a lottery system or lottery game that is completely okay with certain percentage of payout rate. But for
Yeah.
example, in Cyprus, it might be different, right?
Yeah.
Then you would region lock that game depending on the mechanics of the game, whether that is in fit with the regulation in the place or not. That's one way to do it. I don't like that idea because now then you're giving different gaming experience to different people based on where they happen to be located.
Yeah.
I think that also kind of defeats the entire purpose of globalization and then giving access, making everything accessible through the idea of Web3, right? We're trying to make it as
Yeah.
accessible as possible. We want to have equal opportunity and equal chance of getting into our platform for everybody. And just the fact that you happen to live in one place over the other, you get to be deprived of content or access to certain things. It's meh.
Yeah, I mean, it's mad, but I mean, at least we know that all we need to do is just gotta prepare ourselves so that when the storm comes, that we're prepared, right? And then yeah, I mean, just it's it's to satisfy all regions, and to kind of like to, it's just like what Binance is going through, right? I mean, like, you can't satisfy all the regulations out there, and then
Yeah,
that
yeah,
if that's
exactly.
mission,
If you try to
usually if
satisfy
basically,
everybody, you will satisfy nobody.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah. I mean, we got quite a few speakers on the line here. I mean,
Oh, do we? Let me
does
see.
it does anyone of you guys wanna just hop on the mic and just say a couple things?
Share your thought.
Thank you, guys.
Oh,
Oh,
hey.
we got a
Yeah.
speaker here.
Thank you. Hey, guys. Thank you so much. My name is Ben Samatiash. I represent Genesis. We are a startup as well, and that's why we follow up about the news, the recent news about the Binance, because we are also in the Binance Smart Chain. We deployed our token 8 months ago, and since even in these 8 months and the past year, many changes happened around Binance.
Right.
I just wanted to tell something about on the defend of CZ, that maybe like trying to, especially when government involved in some business, the first thing which you can blackmailing on somebody is being part of some shady activities.
Yeah.
And just regarding to that, like CZ didn't have easy job. I think, you know, like he had to leave China, his
Right.
his home basically, you know, because and he didn't have like warehouses and nothing, like only his servers and the domains. But even though the IP addresses which were, you know, linked to the Binance, they didn't have a space in their own home. So as my knowledge, after that they went to Japan, and from Japan they went to US, and finally in US they received this really big fine, which, you know, like they had to deal with. And as I see that, it's very hard to, you know, like even if you are you know, moving locations and crossing borders, how to you can adapt as a system to all of the regulations all around the world, because he started as an Asian company and went to the, you know, US, and all around the world he became popular. But it's not easy. The first thing. Second thing, I think Binance, CZ was the first one who, yeah, he established something on you know, this DEX system, and more importantly make it almost free for us and for many other projects, you know, to deploy your project, exist in a chain, make your own community, you know, these tools provided by him. And also he tried to make it centralized in some way, because he has the listing platform also on the Binance. So he's listing their own projects, and I think it's remarkable. And so I think what he tried to do, it's exactly the same, but he didn't have enough time to finish this work, on my opinion. And maybe because we, you know, like arrived to a very sensitive time, I totally agree with Ian and Liam, who said that they just needed to give a good example, like like Jesus, you know, to had to be sacrificed for people. Sorry for the hard example, but something they had to provide an example, exactly like somebody had to suffer for this, and respect. Just thank you.
Yeah, I do agree with the stuff that you're saying. I mean, he did great stuff for us. I mean, a lot of people like idolize him, and then they look up to him, and then a lot of people find motivation from what he has done for the community, and then they bring their project up to the Web3 for everybody to kind of contribute and then build the whole industry together, right? And that's great, but like in terms of regulation, I think regulation is a tough thing and something that we probably have to face as long as we're in this industry. It's gonna
Yeah.
be a long going thing.
Exactly. Just to share my personal experience with you, if you interested.
Oh, sure, yeah, go ahead.
You know, we are not a California-based company. We Hungary. You know, it's like Eastern Europe. And when we
I've been there. I've been there. I've been
okay,
there
great,
once.
great, 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 great. So, but the local laws doesn't really follow any crypto regulations. So when I ask
I think
any
we lost him.
question to our tax agency, you know, they couldn't respond. Like, so when we were
Mhm.
making the pre-sale, basically I was giving invoices, crazy,
Right.
27%. You know, to having a Binance, to appearance on Binance, I had to pay that fee to the Hungarian authorities. And after when you are taking out money from crypto, when you are changing to fiat, according to the Hungarian regulation, we have to pay 15% out of the profit. So this is the thing which I really don't understand, because okay, maybe they don't see what is happening in the black box, but when we enter money, you know, all of the platforms, all of the checks accept any credit card or any debit card, right? So the banks are okay with that, to let money enter to the crypto. When we are taking out money from the crypto, if you are you know, doing everything correctly, you pay another
Mhm.
additional 15%. So
Right.
money never disappear, just money in the
No.
system for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
I agree with you. I think this is like a double standard thing. Like, like if you're already existing, like, enterprise, like you already abide by regulate, or you're in the good books by the regulators. Like, as long as you don't go out of your box, they kind of like look over your problem, right? But like the whole, for example, Binance or the blockchain industry, this is a new kid on the block, right? And if you're a new kid on the block, it's easier to pick on because you have nobody to support you, right? And then exactly
Exactly.
like the money stuff, you know, they're all traceable. It's the same thing. Like what happens in the crypto space probably also happens in the traditional markets too.
Sorry, once I was dropped out from here. I don't know, maybe because of lack of internet, but I found it really interesting, and thank you for allowing me to share my thoughts also.
Oh, yeah, thank you for sharing your thought. Really
Thank you.
appreciate
I
it.
have to go to work, so I will say goodbye now. Thank you, guys, and keep up
Oh,
the good
okay,
work.
bye-bye. Take care. Have a good one.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, he did bring up very like an interesting point though.
I think I lost him a little bit. I mean, it's probably my internet issue.
I think I heard I heard him for a good chunk. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, most of us just the new kids on the block, right? So that's why always got picked on, right? So I mean I think this applies to the whole industry thing here. It's the whole industry is considered pretty new. That's why we got picked on the most. But just like going back to what I said earlier, right? So that's why all of us we should kind of like form a united front so that we know that we're not in this battle alone, right? So yeah, so it's like in a good old saying, right? It's easy to break one chopstick, but like if we all bundled up and then nobody can really
It's slightly hard to break, I guess.
yeah.
Okay.
Any
I
other guy?
think.
Well, we still got two speakers here. I just don't know if those two
Oh
guys
yeah.
want the mic, and if not, then we can wrap up.
We can wrap it up, I guess. Or if anyone want to speak, you can just unmute your microphone and then share your thoughts. That'd be great.
Then if not, you guys can come back tomorrow. It's gonna be on a daily basis. So
Yeah, we're planning to do this open the space on a daily basis. We're gonna have it every day. I think we're thinking usually same time, right?
yeah,
It's been almost an hour now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, also,
So
if
whatever
you
time
guys
zone.
if you guys have a particular topic that you guys are interested, feel free to leave a comment, and then we will go through all the comments, and then and then we can pick on the topic that you want to talk about, and then next time when you come back, then we can talk about it together.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, so if we have nobody else who's coming up to share their opinion, I guess that is it for today.
Good,
Thank you
sounds
for
good.
joining us on this episode of Voices of Web3. So if you think that what we're saying here is interesting or engaging enough, feel free to give XWinner, our Twitter account, a follow, and you will get some updates from XWinner. And we're actually launching our mainnet
Yeah, exactly.
January 1st, 2024. We're very excited about that. So I'm not sure if you've given an introduction of ourselves. We are a fully on-chain decentralized gambling platform. And, I guess to tie it back to this topic, the fully on-chain aspect, right? Like a fully transparent, everything is verifiable, right? If there's a malicious actor in our midst, it's very easy to identify that transaction or those series of transactions, and then we'll definitely make sure that this person is no longer part of our community. That's for sure.
Exactly, because we know that the space that we're operating within, it's it has traditionally have been a taboo in a lot of
Yeah.
the regions, so that that's why we're trying to do our best to kind of eliminate this malicious stuff from happening, and then yeah, definitely. So we're just
I
trying
mean,
to
one way to do it is like going fully on chain, because
exactly.
I think fully on chain is great because the transparency aside, like the way we design it from the ground up with the fully on chain approach is that not just the operators, like the casino itself, they have to be honest and transparent, otherwise you go out of business. But also for the users, right? They have to maintain their own integrity and reputation in order to continue benefiting and enjoying the platform, because otherwise it's very quickly, you know they'll find out that they quickly nobody's gonna play with you, right?
Yep.
And then one way to make sure that players are one way is to verify that players are being honest and they have a good track record is making sure that everything is on chain and nothing is done off chain. So everybody can see each other, everybody's policing on each other in a sense. It's a community policing system
Yep.
in a way,
Yep.
right? So that is
Yeah.
that. So
That more a united front, right? So that ties back to the whole community and the united front thing, right? So that together
yeah,
we can
exactly. Yeah,
we can
yeah. If we
definitely
don't regulate ourselves, right?
yeah
If we don't regulate ourselves, like some people that we probably don't want is gonna come in and regulate us
yeah
for us,
yeah
and we
exactly
might not like that.
Yeah, and then if we have a united front, then some people that come into this space with malicious thought, behind it, coming here, and you'll quickly find out that he will not blend in, right? He's just gonna be an outsider, and then that kind of like eradicates his malicious behaviors from at the beginning, right? So yeah, definitely.
I think we can definitely talk about this like in a future episode about like fully on chain, the reputation system, like integrity of identity, that kind of stuff. We can talk about that. But yeah, I guess we'll cut it off for today. I think it's been an hour for now, right?
Yeah,
So
pretty
yeah,
late.
so yeah, okay.
All right,
Until
guys.
next time, right?